each of our great leaders embodies that personality of that divinity.
There's several different pieces of that story that are in direct correlation to the story of Jesus. And it's amazing that most Christians don't know that the story of Jesus was told 12 times throughout history, but the names changed and the faces changed. And what most people don't know is that that story originated with the story of Heru.
What you're seeing is the family as the image of God, because there is a father, a Sar. So the family as the image of God. Why? Because only the male, female can recreate and create. Nothing else can create. And only God can create. And so the symbol of God is the force and the element of the female forces of nature, the male forces of nature coming together, creating themselves. And themselves in that creation is the child. The embodiment of that male and that female is that child. So they didn't deposit themselves in the child, they deposited themselves as the child. So the child now is symbolic of the whole family and symbolic of the divinity itself.
So for me, I think it's very important to once again show people that most of the things that are valuable on this earth can be traced back to an African.
This story, this African story of an African trinity is over 6,000 years old.
And we began to celebrate certain occasions, like the Ethiopian on the 11th of September. That's their New Year. It's considered the oldest New Year in the world. But it's a celebration of the myth of Osiris, Aset, and Heru. And they celebrate the resurrection of Osiris on that day. And they celebrate the impregnation of Aset. It's a week-long celebration. But the rituals they do, the food they eat, the dances they do, the libations they pour, the prayers and everything, those are the rituals. But those rituals is trying to interpret to people the myth of the Osirian drama.
So I think the story of Heru is very important. As a matter of fact, there's not too many stories that are more important as it pertains to our history, especially since the story of Jesus has such an amazing effect on Africans. You know, to find out that, you know, that story was based on a person that looks just like us, I think that's the first step to setting our people free.
Well, imagine my amazement, you know, growing up as a Christian and being a Christian minister and things of that nature, when I began to discover for myself these stories and concepts of death and resurrection and the Osirian drama that predate the biblical narratives by over 1,000 years.